Yes, welcome to yet another feedback loop here. A little bit later than usual and a little bit more low-key because we're almost Sunday afternoon here. It is Sunday morning here in beautiful sunny Adelaide, South Australia. It is nearly Christmas time. It is the 23rd of December, just 2 days to go and just 7 and 8 days left in the month of December 2018. And then we'll be in 2019, which is a little bit crazy. Welcome to the Feedback Loop. What are we doing here? Well, my name is Pete and this is Studio Live Today, where I help you create, record and release your best music. And this is my weekly live show where I like to rant about a bunch of stuff, but I also love to answer questions that you folks have. So for those here on the live stream, throw your questions down if you have anything, if you've got any comments, or if you just want to let me know where you are tuning in from in the world and what it's like there today. What songs have you written lately? Share your music links. I don't mind. We're talking all about music. In fact, we are talking about songwriting here today. We'll be chatting about a bunch of things, but we'll be chatting about songwriting primarily because I'm in the middle of a big songwriting series here on the channel. So I'll be talking a little bit about that, a lot bit about that, going through the process that I've been going through on the channel here. I've been doing it in a few videos here on the channel as well, so we've been going through and documenting that, so you can check out that after the show here if you haven't caught up on that, and be talking about you and asking you about your songwriting process as well, because I want to hear, I want to learn. I learn as much from folks here on the channel as I hope you do from me, because there is no right or wrong way to write a song, and that is what our main point is going to be here today. But I'm going to go through some of the things that I've learned, some of the tips that I have if you're stuck, if you're trying to write a song, if you've never written a song before, or if you've written 1,000 songs and they're just not coming out right at the moment. A few things that you can maybe think about that might help you and that might change things around, which might be good. Mr. Leonard Higgins is here on the stream, so hello to you, sir. I will jump in to our main topic, and then for any other folks who are here, just say hello, let me know how you're going, where you're listening in from, and if the audio and video, I did have a few technical difficulties, so that's why I'm a little bit late on here today. Again, it seems that that's a common theme every week. I'm like, I had a few technical difficulties, so sorry about that, but we will jump in. If my audio and video is slightly out of sync and I look a little bit like an overdubbed Japanese kung fu movie, then I apologize for that. It's, yeah, getting the audio and the mixer and then the video and then everything synced up together can be a challenge at times. So we will we'll soldier on, but yeah, let me know if it gets really, really bad, and we'll see what we can do to fix it up. Okay, let's jump in and start talking songwriting. So I'm part of a songwriting collective called the SongSpark Collective, and what that is all about is that every month there is a spark, and that is just a songwriting idea and something that we write a song about. And in the month of December, the spark is quite a simple one. It's that we're going to tell a story, so a song that tells a story. And the one sort of twist in there is that there needs to be an a cappella section. So a cappella just means song with lyrics, sorry, with singing, but no instruments. So yeah, I'm working through that at the moment. I've got a song, doesn't really have a name yet. I'm calling it New Song. I'll show you a little bit about it in a moment, and we'll jump in and take a quick look. So I need to name the song, and I need to finish writing the lyrics. I've got most of the song structure down. I did a few videos during the week where I worked through the song structure and started getting things worked out. But yeah, we'll continue on with that, and we'll talk a little bit about that. But firstly, what I wanted to do is jump in and talk all about writing songs and songwriting. So there is no right or wrong way to write a song, and that's one of the great things about songwriting, about music in general, about everything that we do here. The fact that you can record on in a $100,000, $1 million studio, or you can record like on your phone in GarageBand, and you can still record a quality sound these days. That's pretty amazing. Gone is that big barrier to entry where you can't write a song, you can't record a song, you can't release a song unless you have a lot of money or access to a lot of people or a lot of technology. You can get it done yourself. And if you don't know where to start with writing a song, my advice to you is to just start. So I use that advice for everything that I do, whether it's recording a video, whether it's writing a song, whether it's doing anything in life. If you don't know where to start, just start. You'll be surprised that if you just go, how quickly you can get something down. So if you're an instrumentalist, grab your guitar, grab your keyboard. If you're a singer or if you're programming in loops or whatever you're doing, just start. Like, there is a lot to be said for just having a go, just doing a little bit of noodling around. My friend Doug over on the sound test room, he has his daily noodle, and I'm sure that Doug gets a whole bunch of ideas out of just noodling around on different apps and in different instruments and things. So don't be afraid to just have a little play around and start getting things. That being said, don't get stuck in that zone. You still want to write and finish songs, because that is important, and that's something that I stress a lot, is writing and recording and finishing your songs so that you can release it and so that you can share your wonderful music with the rest of the world. Now, one thing that I like to promote, and what I might do, I've offered this up before and I haven't ever actually done it, but maybe today will be the day that we jump in if you'd like to see this, is but don't be afraid to write bad songs. And I've written a lot of bad songs. When I say bad songs, I don't mean that, they're just terrible and I'm going out of my way to write a bad song, although that can be fun too. But don't be afraid to just put ideas down and just let things flow through. If you've written 10 songs and you want to release an album with 10 songs on it, you probably don't have 10 songs worthy of an album. If you're writing an album with 10 songs and you've written 50 songs and then you can choose the best 10, then you've got a better chance of having a great album. It's the same with a single. Like, don't go, I'm writing a song, here's the song I wrote, and now I'm releasing this song. It may not be the one. It may just be the gateway to the song that you are actually going to release. So go ahead and write bad songs and write short songs too. So one of the big things that gets people, and that is quite daunting, is to think about the fact that I have to write a whole song. I have to write an intro, a verse, a chorus, a verse, a bridge, a verse, a chorus, an ending. This is just too stressful. Just write something, like pretend you're working for an ad agency and write like a 30-second jingle, a 15-second jingle. Write something, write some background music that you can use or that you can give to someone to use on their YouTube channel, on their video, whatever it is. Just do something that's going to get you writing songs, because you're not going to, if you sit down and go, I'm going to write an entire song and it's going to be 6 minutes, sort of epic prog rock extravaganza, then you may fall short and you may feel that, I failed in this. But you're not failing. You just need to continue trying and continue working on that. Let's have a look here. Alrighty. Sorry, I was just checking to make sure that no one was telling me that they couldn't hear me or that the stream had broken or anything like that. So capturing song ideas is key. And I actually use OneNote, and I'll show you in a moment when we get to that section. But I use OneNote, which is an application. It's part of Microsoft Office, but you can use Evernote, you can use Notepad, you can use Word, you can use Excel, you can use whatever you want. Google Documents, whatever you want to do to capture your ideas. But it's a really good idea to have some sort of notebook, whether it's a physical notebook or a digital notebook, to actually have all your ideas down. What you can do is you can write chord progressions there, you can write song lyric ideas, you can write just ideas for the theme of a song. You can write anything that you want in there. And it just gives you a reference point to go back to say, there's those ideas. And it might not be a full, complete song, but you can go back to it at the time. So that's sort of the one way of capturing. The other way that's really important is capturing the audio of your songs. So you can do that through audio, through the voice recorder app on your phone. You can record it to GarageBand, which I use a lot, and have song ideas in GarageBand as well. You can use the Music Memos app. If you haven't used Music Memos, you've got to check out Music Memos. That is really, really cool. And then you can use your video. So use your camera on your phone. Most people, 99% of you watching have probably got a smartphone, an Android or an iOS smartphone, doesn't matter. You've got a camera on there, or your iPad, you've got a camera on there. So record yourself, especially if you're a guitarist or a keyboard player, record yourself playing your song and singing the ideas. And that way you can actually go back to it. I've done that a heap of times. And I showed that in a video this week where I actually had an idea on my phone and I played it back. And then I'm jamming along with myself as I'm playing it back to sort of build out that song and to get the song structure down. So it's a really good idea to make sure that you're capturing not only visually, so pen and paper or somewhere digitally, but capture the audio and even the video of your song ideas, as a fly is buzzing around in front of me here. Your lyrics, if you're a lyricist, so if you're writing instrumental pieces, then this won't really apply, but maybe it will a little bit. But if you're a lyricist especially, you are going to write some lyrics that are so cringeworthy that you're going to feel really like ashamed. You're going to go, this just sounds terrible. I rhymed baby with maybe, and that's just so cliche and I hate it. Everyone does it. It's usually okay. And when it's not okay, you'll change it. You'll change it down the track. So I'll say that again. It doesn't matter if you write a song, you write lyrics that you just make you feel cringy. You will change it. It will be okay. I always reference the fact that the Red Hot Chili Peppers have song lyrics like ning nang nong nong ning nang nong nong ning nang in one of their songs. And, you know, I consider like Anthony Kiedis and Red Hot Chili Peppers really good songwriters. And I don't know what they were smoking the day that they came up with that line, but yeah, you listen to that song, you're like, that's a bit strange, but you're still going to jam on the song and it's still a good song. So don't get hung up on your lyrics. And the same with that, if you're an instrumentalist, don't get up on that cheesy sort of melody line that you've got. Again, you'll work with it, it'll work, or it won't. And if it doesn't work, guess what? We're in a digital environment and you've got like basically infinite resources and infinite time. So you can keep trying, you can keep evolving and keep doing things. Excuse me. A couple more quick tips and quick points. And I hope this is useful. If you've got your own ideas, I'll throw this out there now. If you're here on the live stream, let me know what some of your songwriting tips are. And if you're watching on the replay, thank you for spending the time here. If you could drop in the comments some of your songwriting tips and ideas and what works for you, because as I said at the start, I learn as much from other people. I'm not the expert in all things. I'm just like you, I'm out here writing songs, trying to get music done. So if you've got ideas, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. A couple of more things. Songwriting is a skill, and like any skill or any habit, if you do it regularly, you get better. So if you write songs every day, or at least every couple of days, or at least sometime during the week, set aside some time to focus on your songwriting. Write as many songs as you can, like start churning out songs. And like I said, some will be bad, some will be good, some will be half and half, and you'll steal some ideas from one and put them into the other. But doing it regularly is going to work that muscle, it's going to work that mental muscle, and you're going to start producing better and better content. Excuse me. And finally, don't give up. I reached a point this week, and I'm saying this as much to myself as I am to you, but I reached a point this week where I was looking at the song that I was writing. I had that cringeworthy lyric idea thing. I was like, oh, these rhymes are terrible. These words don't make sense. This is a bad song. But I just sort of paused from it. I went away and I actually jammed on some like cover versions of some cool songs that I like. And then I came back to it the next day. I'm like, actually, I think we can salvage this. And I cracked out and wrote 2 verses and a chorus, and it's sounding okay. It still needs work, but it's sounding okay. So don't give up. If you hit that point where you're like, this isn't working, do something else. By all means, don't stand there forcing it and just struggling. Go away and do something else. Come back to it, and by the time you're back, you'll be able to reinvigorate it. And if you can't, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. It is okay. Not every song you write is going to end up being finished. Not every song is going to end up being great. But if you keep doing it, like my friend Higgy Drums, who's here on the live stream, like a lot of the other folks who are here on the channel who I know produce some great music, then you will continue working on your craft and writing good and better songs. Alrighty, welcome to the folks that we have on here. So I've mentioned Mr. L. Higgy, and we've got Braxton Utley, who is also here. Cool. So yeah, let me know if you do have any other questions. I know I'm very late here, and I gave like about 10 minutes notice before I started the live stream today. But if anyone else does have any questions and they want to jump in there and say hello, then by all means do so. But before then, until then, we will move on. And I did mention before, I'll show you some of my songs, and we'll jump into that in just a moment. So once you have completed your songs and you have recorded your songs, which I have a lot of videos on here, so there's a lot of videos that I have on the channel here that are very much focused on recording your music, mixing, mastering. Then it comes to releasing. Now, I've spoken about this a bunch of times, and I've got a heap of videos on the channel about how to release your music, but I'll cover it quickly because I've had probably 3 or 4 questions during the week all about how do I release my music, how do I get it ready to release, and how do I get it out the door. So releasing your music can come in a bunch of different ways. So the number one way that I recommend is to share your music first. Before you release your music, share it. And I talk about sharing it to a community, to a trusted community, to a group of people that can help you, or to an individual person, whatever it is. If you want to send me your songs, I've had a bunch of people that have emailed me saying, hey, Pete, I've written this song. Would you mind listening to it and giving me some tips? So, you know, I will be able to do that. I'm a little behind. I'm about a week behind on my emails at the moment. But if you do have a song that you wanted me to check out, by all means, send it on through. But a lot of online communities, there's communities on Reddit, there's communities on Facebook. I'm sure there's communities all over the internet and places that I don't know about, but there's heaps of forums and different websites that you can go to. So I've mentioned before that the GarageBand users Facebook group, I spend a lot of time there because I am a GarageBand user and we share a lot of music and we help each other out. My man Higgy Drums here is also a member of that group and a contributor to that. There's other ones like home studio recording groups and other groups that can actually help you out. So share your music, find a community and share your music first and foremost. And you can do that through SoundCloud, through YouTube, through directly sending them a Google Drive or a Dropbox links. But the way that I like to do things is using SoundCloud to start with. So I'll upload my songs to SoundCloud, and there's a heap of videos here on the channel. So if you're new to recording and releasing music and you want to learn how to do it to SoundCloud, just search for Pete John's SoundCloud on YouTube and you'll find a heap of videos about how to release your music to SoundCloud and how to upload to SoundCloud, and then share that, because what SoundCloud does is you upload to the service, then you've just got a link. You can then send that link via email, via Messenger, put it on Facebook. Anyone can actually share that song, or you can keep it private. If you just want to have a record of your songs, upload it to there, keep it private, then you can choose who you send it to down the track if you wanted to. YouTube is great for sharing music, so you can upload your music to YouTube. You do need to combine it with a video, so you can do it with just a single, like a still image and your music behind it, or you can create an animation like I did on a recent song, my song Never to Blame. I just did a very basic video animation to do that. So there's options like that. And then if you want to get your music out to the world, so if you want to get it out to Spotify, to iTunes, to Apple Music, to all of the major platforms, Google Play, Amazon, then you need a distributor. And I use and recommend DistroKid. And I've had a few folks asking about DistroKid and asking questions about that through the week. So DistroKid, it's $20 US per year. You can upload and release unlimited number of songs and albums, and it is just a really straightforward, simple, intuitive service. So if you are interested in that, I'll put a link in after the show, but if you go to studiolivetoday.com/distro, then that will take you to a VIP link where you get 7% off and they chip off a little bit and send it my way. So if you are looking to release your music using DistroKid, you can try that. One of the other platforms, so if you're looking for a free service, one that I'll be trying out soon is called amuse.io. A lot of the folks over on the GarageBand Users Facebook group have been using this. It's a mobile platform, so that's one of the downsides of DistroKid is you can only release it using the desktop, so you can't actually release via mobile, whereas amuse.io is an app, so you can actually release your music directly from your phone or your iPad. So I need to try that out. It is free, it does take a little bit longer to actually release your song, and it doesn't have quite as many features as DistroKid does, but you still get paid your royalties, and it is still an effective service. So I need to try that one out. And then, like me, you can have your music delivered to all of the different platforms. So at the moment, if you go to Spotify, Apple Music, iTunes, YouTube, wherever you go, if you search my name, you search Pete Johns, it's going to bring up my music. And that's pretty cool in itself, because it means that instead of you having to say, oh, here's a link to my music, here's how to find it, all I say is if someone's like, oh, can I check out your music? I'll just say, yep, my name is Pete Johns. Search Pete Johns. And as long as you have a slightly distinct name that you're releasing under, then you can release it just as Pete Johns. So you can release it just as your name, and you can say, this is my name and this is my music. Alrighty. Cool. So I'll just have a quick look here. So Mr. Leonard Higgins says, you've helped me tremendously, Pete, and you're still helping me, so thank you. Well, thank you, my friend, because yeah, the folks here, you folks that provide me with the comments and the feedback, the ideas, the encouragement, the support, you definitely keep the channel running and keep me motivated to keep doing this and trying to help folks out and make my own music, but also help you create, record, and release your music as well. Alrighty, so just a little update on what we're talking about songwriting on some of the videos that I've had out this week. So we've had, I had a video about recording, so the ones that weren't related to songwriting. So I talked about using a guitar as a bass guitar, which was a cool idea I got from my buddy Seth over on the GarageBand Users Facebook group. So if you want to check that one out, if you only have an electric guitar and you want to try and turn it into a bass guitar sound, that might be an interesting one to check out. One that is actually really helping me at the moment is using drums as your metronome. So whether you're using GarageBand or any other platform, your click track or your metronome is just the thing that goes that you're supposed to play along to. But what I tend to find is if you're playing along to just that clicking sound, it's not really very cool. It's not very inspirational to be jamming out to a click track and to hearing the click, click, click. So what I like to do is actually add a drum loop or add a drummer or add some sort of drum sound straight up and then play to that. And I've been doing that with my new song and it's been working really, really well. The other video I had is around looping sections. So the power of being able to loop your sections, and in GarageBand iOS, it's a little bit fiddly to do. So I did a video on how to do that. But whatever platform you're in, being able to just loop one section to play it back, it's great for recording. So if you're trying to record a guitar part, you've got your guitar and you're trying to play the right part, that can really help you out. And it can also help you if you are mixing, because you're hearing the same thing, you're mixing the same thing, and you'll be able to hear it back and back. So that can help you out a bunch as well. And so they're the main things. I then had a couple of videos. So I talked about the song structure. So I talked about chords that you write, what you use for songwriting, and how you actually pull together the actual structure. So what's your chord pattern, how many bars of each section, what's your verse, your chorus, your bridge, all of those sort of things. We talked about that in a video this week. And then just yesterday, I recorded the vocals of my new song, which is a good segue to come on over and have a look at what I do. So I'm going to... you're going to see behind the curtain a little bit here because you're going to see my notes for this show. But if we come over to here and we'll put on the screen and the camera, here is my screen and here is my OneNote document. So this is what we're talking about at the moment. Now, when it comes to songwriting, I'm going to click over to here to my songwriting file. And what you can see is that along the side here, we have how many? Probably about 100-ish projects that I'm working on at the moment. So some of these are finished, some of these are just ideas that you can see I've tried to sort of organize things. So I've tried to go like complete, released, in progress ideas down the middle here to categorize them. But then sort of towards the end here, I've just gone dump, and then we've got a whole bunch of different stuff here. So the new song that I'm working on is this one here called New Song. And this is what I was just talking about here, is that I throw down, you know, the chords. I've got my song structure that I've worked out here, which we'll go through there. I've got lyrics. So I've got sort of the premise of the lyrics, and then I've just started writing. And you can see here it's a little bit messy, but as we go through, I start sort of processing those and getting those in a little bit more a semblance of order. But what I might do is I'll go through to some of, because I did mention, I'm like, you know, write bad songs, and you're like, yeah, but you know, maybe I don't want to do that. I'm like, well, why don't I embarrass myself and play some of my song ideas? And there's some in here that are literally just ideas, which is like a few lines of a word, and then the others are sort of half-made ideas that we've been working on over time. So as the doorbell's going, I can hear the Christmas doorbell. I'm sure that the family are onto that one. So let's jump in and have a look here at what we've got. Before I do, just hello to a couple of other folks. To Iglesias, Oliver Verde, what preamp are you using now? Is it the Steinberg? I'm actually using my MixPad. This is my Samson MixPad MP124 FX mixer. So that way I can bring in the audio from my PC and a bunch of other stuff as well. And it's just a lot easier to do for live streaming. And yeah, the preamps on it are actually pretty good. So hopefully it's coming through and sounding okay. Yeah, let me know if not. Tick Korea, Merry Christmas, Chief. Merry Christmas to you too. Great to have you here. And Madvaka, Fernando Minuas, hello to you from Argentina. So thank you for tuning in. I've just realized that I brought up the stream here. You're seeing behind the curtain as I forget that I have my... I forget that I have my screen showing. Lucky I didn't show anything inappropriate there. Alrighty, so what were we going to do? We were going to show some of these ideas. So let's go to my ideas file, just so that you have a bit of an idea of the sort of things that we put here. So some things will be like this. So this is called The Eyes Have It, and the song idea is The Eyes Have It, so you can see people's troubles in their eyes. Yeah, that's a concept that's clearly gone nowhere. I have one called Goldie. Now, this is about my goldfish, and this is what I'm saying. If you've got some lame ideas that you think are just terrible, just write them down. This has gone nowhere, but you seem so happy with the little place you live. It must be nice to find the simple things so good. You never worry about the state of all the world and all the problems, all the pain, blah, 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 blah. And I would join you, but I refrain. Why am I going in the goldfish bowl? I don't understand. And this was written, 30th of April 2015. So the good thing about using something like OneNote is that all of my ideas from 2.5 years ago are just sitting in here, and there's a very good reason why this didn't ever become a song, as you can see there. I'm skipping down through living my life online. So this is one that I'm sort of working on the concept of now, but I've done nothing around the lyrics. But I want to write a song about, I guess, new age, not new age, but like modern culture and living your life online as opposed to living it in real life. But you know what? It's probably been done. A few people have done the same sort of things recently. So maybe it's kind of already been done. Not sure. But yeah, again, it's just a concept. This is the one that I'm like, what the hell is an analyst anyway? How do I explain what I do? Sometimes I wish I was an architect, policeman, or a vet. So this was a concept I had around the fact that I can't explain what my day job is. I was like, at the time I was an analyst, and I'm like, how do you explain what an analyst is? I'm a business analyst, a data analyst, and I'm like, yeah, kind of wish I was like a fireman or just someone that you could have a one-word response to someone if they said, what exactly is it that you do? A heap more down here. I'm not going to go through each and every single one, but you can get the gist that I've got I'll show you this one here because this is one line that I wrote down at the start of the year in January 2018, and it's Planetry You'll Never See. And that was just an idea that I just woke up with in my head one day. I wrote it down here, and then that actually became a complete song. So that was the seed, pardon the pun, that created the tree, which I've just realized I don't have in here. I wrote that in, I still don't think I've actually ever written down or typed out the lyrics to the tree, but it's on my album. It's on this album here, Selfish Aware. I just don't happen to have the details here. I need to actually fix that up. Yeah, it just goes to show that sometimes things will turn into nothing, and sometimes things will actually become a real song and will become. So here's an example. So bluesy song down here, and again, I haven't updated a lot of this stuff. So this actually became my song Never to Blame. In fact, let's just rename it now. So Never to Blame. So you can see here that I started writing the concept here on the 13th of September. I've got my little song structure up there. I haven't even updated it with the chords or anything, but here's all the lyrics to my song Never to Blame. So I built that out and played that as I went along. I'll try and find one in just a moment. I'll try and find one of the songs that I actually do have some audio for as well, and we'll jump into that. Mr. Ponk80 is here on the stream. Hello to you. Thank you. Will I be selling t-shirts with my logo? I promise you, yes, Tick Korea, I promise you I didn't plant you in there to ask that question, but yes, if you go to studiolivetoday.com/merch, that's /MERCH, you can buy a Studio Live Today t-shirt. So that's through Teespring, who are an online t-shirt distributor. Nice, high-quality cotton t-shirts with the Studio Live Today logo. And yeah, so again, wasn't a plant, and I wasn't going to push the merchandise today. But since you asked, I will. And Ponk80, great to see you streaming. I always enjoy when you do this. Well, thank you. I always enjoy when you are here in the stream, commenting and chatting to me. It's always great to have you and everyone here along live. But if you are on the replay, don't worry. And I usually say, oh, I'm here at the same time every week. Today, I'm here very late. So I will get a better schedule of live streaming happening. There's just a lot going on. Don't know about you, but it's the holiday season. There's a lot happening. There's a lot going on at this time of year. And the other thing, while I'm doing it, and I don't like to do the self-promotion, I'm actually a fairly sort of shy and reserved kind of person. You wouldn't know it from the ranting and what I say here on the channel, but Ponk80 just reminded me here, you can also super chat if you're here on the live stream, which means that you can throw a donation my way if you like, and I say that because Mr. Ponk80 has done that on my last couple of streams, so I did want to say a big thank you to him for doing that, because it really does help out. It helps me pay for things like mixers and bandwidth and streaming services and all sorts of other things, so thank you for that. Now I wanted to find, well, I'll get into sort of talking about the song that I'm currently writing at the moment, but there's a song that I've been writing for a while. I think it might be this, no, 1,000 Pointless Words. That's another one that I've been sort of working on. I'm trying to remember the name of the song that I actually have a bit of a chord progression and a bit of an idea for as well. I'll say there's Things Will Change. So that's another song that I'm working on at the moment. I will find this in a moment. I'm just sliding through here. I know this is a riveting video to watch. It's called Thoughts and Prayers. Yeah, let's see if I can search for it. So this is a good thing again, is about, here we go, Thoughts and Prayers. Click that. So this is one that I don't have the chords written down here, and this is where I should be better, and I should take my own advice and actually write down the chords as I go along. But I don't. Now, my guitar preamp's not working at the moment, so I can't even plug this in. So it's not really going to come through. But I do happen to remember this one, so I'm just going to do an impromptu live performance here on Studio Live today, because this is a song. Let me just check that I have the right settings here. Yep, so you can see the lyrics as we're going through. So this is a song, and I might even write the chords down after I've performed this, just so that I remember it for next time. But this is a song that I wrote, and you can see here, started writing it on the 7th of November 2017. Originally for my EP, then for my album, and then it never went anyway. Never went anywhere. But it goes a little bit something like this. Give them your thoughts and your prayers, they say, but it's never quite enough. They say that looking back is when you know that it's already too late. A token effort and a warm handshake, a shoulder there for tears. It's on replay now for far too long, counting off the years. Then it's a B flat, B sharp, what is it called? B flat minor. It's easy to talk about it when there's nothing at stake, when nothing is gonna change until it's too late for thoughts and prayers. It's too late for your thoughts and prayers. It's too late. Alright, so yeah, that's just an idea that you just throw this stuff down here and it doesn't have to turn into anything. Sometimes it will be a song. That one may be a song one day when I continue workshopping. It sounds a little bit too much like some of my other songs, if I'm honest. And yeah, it doesn't just gel with me at the moment. But again, it's there. And what I'll do is I'll come in here. Starts with G. Goes down to A minor. I'm just helping myself. And then it goes to C. And then to A. I can't remember. E minor maybe, something like that. But I'll come back and actually add some notes into that. So I haven't followed my own directive there to do that properly. But again, this is just a great way to make sure that you've got ideas down here. Just keep ticking away, keep getting your ideas down, and maybe in a future video I'll show you my music memos, which is another giant array of songwriting ideas that I have put together over time. And yeah, so you can have a written version, you can have an audio version, and you can even have a video version. So my YouTube channel is my video version of my ideas. So a lot of the things that I put a video out about, if you're watching some of my videos, some of the concepts in there you'll recognize because they become songs. Some of them totally don't, but then one day I'll be watching an old video of mine, just sort of refreshing myself, because believe it or not, I forget things, and then I go back and check the video and go, oh, that's right, that's what I meant. That's how you do that. So I need to watch my own videos to relearn the things that I do, especially when it's a Ponk 80 special hack that I've forgotten how to do. So that's one sort of way that I capture and document things. So yeah, if you don't have a YouTube channel now, and even if you don't want to put them out publicly, I've got a heap of videos recorded on my YouTube channel that are just me playing, and they're private videos, so they're never going to be released to the world, but I can go back and go, oh, what was that song idea I had back in January? Oh, let's just go and find it on YouTube. It was called this, and then you can go and actually check it out. So that's something I should do. Maybe I'll record myself a version of this song after this stream and then put that as a private video, and that way I will actually remember the chords and the progression next time we go. Excuse me. So, I'll just check the chat here. It's 2 o'clock at night here. Yeah, so it's 2 o'clock in the morning there for Mr. Ponk 80. It's possible to zoom a bit on the lyrics, very small on my iPad. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it's late at night for you, and it would have been very small there. I tried to zoom in a little bit, but that's why I don't put a lot of stuff on the screen here. I actually need a solution. What I need to do is buy myself a Lightning to, not USB, Lightning to HDMI adapter, and then an HDMI capture card. That way I can throw my iPad or my iPhone up here on the screen, and you'll be able to see what's going on, and then we can do some live recording and live songwriting. Excuse me. What I'll do is I'll jump into a couple of the other topics that I have here on my list, and then we will jump back at the end, and I might play you out with yeah, a little rendition of the song that I'm working on at the moment, because it's starting to come along, it's starting to come together, and I need to practice it. So it's a good excuse for me to practice my new song. Let's go back to my notes for today's show. So I've talked a lot about songwriting in this video. We've talked about some of the tips that I have for songwriting and releasing your music and why that's important to do. A couple of other things that have come up during the week. So I've got a video about the difference between a mixer, and someone here in the chat just asked about what interface I'm using for like this. For my live streaming, I use my Samson MixPad, which means that I can bring up to 4 mics or 4 audio channels, and it's up to 12 total channels, including sort of the stereo channels that we have. So I can put my iPad into there, my iPhone. I can use the audio from here as well. So that's why I could play us in with some audio at the start, so I could play it back from my PC. And I find that that's a really useful for live streaming, for live performances. And then on the flip side, I've also got a couple of interfaces. So I love my Steinberg UR12, and I use a Steinberg UR44 here on my PC for more of my actual recording. So the video that I did, which was the difference between those two, have had a heap of comments, and it's quite funny. So the comments that I tend to get are 2 types, and this is a little bit interesting. And I've talked about the whole hug your haters mentality, and you know, commenters on YouTube sometimes being amazing. No, let me rephrase that. Almost always being amazing, but occasionally you get people that are less than complimentary about what you're doing. So the majority of people said, hey, that was great. Thanks for the clear explanation. It is one of the videos where I've really focused on just going information, information, information. I can waffle, I can rant, so I was really focused to give the information out. It's only a 7-minute video, but I pack it with a lot of information. So most people said, hey, thanks. I was looking to buy an interface or a mixer. This has helped me decide. Now I want to buy an X or a Y. As usual, I've got a few folks in there that were, and I'm not sure why they were watching the video, but they were saying, oh, if you don't know the difference between a USB and a mixer, maybe you shouldn't be in audio at all. And that probably frustrated me more than any of the horrible comments that I've had before, because what they're saying is that if you don't already know something, you should never learn it. That seems very counterintelligent to me, counterproductive, because the only way you are going to learn new things, like a YouTube video that is, what is the difference between a USB mixer and an interface? If you already know the difference, don't watch that video. Yeah? Why are you watching a video and then telling me how basic it is and how stupid you have to be to not already know that? Just don't watch the video and go and watch Advanced Mixer Techniques 101 or whatever other video. It's very clear that the content I put out there is for regular folks that don't have that amazing background. You know, we haven't been to recording, engineering, audio schools for the most part. Some of us maybe have. If you have, that's great. But if you haven't, then help other people out. Like, what is the purpose? Is it making yourself feel better and superior to say, if you don't even know that, then you shouldn't even be a part of the recording community? It's like, no. If you don't know that, you should learn it. If you want to record music and make music, then you're doing the right thing by learning. And I get really frustrated because I've heard too many stories about folks who start getting into recording. Maybe they've been in bands in the past and now they want to get into recording. Someone sent me a great comment on a video just today that said, yeah, I've been playing in bands, been writing for bands, now I'm ready to record my own stuff. They might not know all of the details about mixers versus interface. They might not know how to use their digital audio workstation, how to automate a vocal, how to use compression and EQ settings correctly. And nor should they. They should be able to just play good music. And then the whole point of having channels like this and channels like Dan Baker and Patrick Baird and Lewin Barringer, all of these tutorial channels where we're helping people out, are to help people out. So yes, a little mini rant there about that one. I didn't mean to go off on that tangent, but yeah, like I said, I don't mind the comments about people that say your music sucks, you suck, whatever. That's fine. Like, that just rolls off my back. I'm not actually fussed by that. But what I hate seeing is people that are potentially stopping other people from creating their best music. So they're the ones that I actually get more annoyed and more frustrated with than people that are just outright trolls that are just saying horrible things. I mean, I kind of wish they would go away too, or, get a better hobby, maybe. Go play Fortnite or whatever it is that the kids do these days, rather than watching YouTube videos that you don't want to watch and then commenting negatively. Okay, rant over. Sorry for that, but yeah, you knew I wasn't going to get through a whole show like this without some sort of rant going on. So that is my rant for today. I think we've covered most of the things that I have on here. We've talked about quite a bit here. There's one more thing that we have here. So the final thing, a few folks have been asking, and you can't see them because they're behind here, but they've been asking about monitoring audio and recording and doing mixing and mastering, and the difference between using a pair of your headphones to do it, and monitor speakers, and what sort of monitor speakers should you have? Should you be shelling out money and buying monitor speakers? At what point should you be looking at monitor speakers? Well, it depends on a lot of things. A lot of folks that are here and that watch my content here are mobile. So you're on an iPad, you're on an iPhone, you're on a mobile digital audio workstation. So for you, headphones really are just a lot more convenient. I mean, as soon as you're using an interface or a mixer or something like that, you can output your sound to a pair of speakers. So once you're at sort of that level, but when you're starting out, that's why I talk so much about these, the Sennheiser HD280s, because they're a $100 headphone. If you're going to invest in something that's going to help you record, so track your vocals, your guitars, your whatever, mix, master, listen to your music, like, having something like this is so good. Like I said, $100. If you're buying monitor speakers to get something decent, even like the KRK Rocket 4s that I have, I think they're about $300 a pair US. I think I paid about 500 Australian for them. It was a while ago now. So it is a big investment to go to monitor speakers. And then you can only use them when, you have a nice environment. Maybe if you've got family, you've got neighbors, you live, with people next to you, you need to be really careful about how you use them then, and you might not be able to use them all the time. So that's my sort of first tip, is go with headphones over speakers when you are starting out, and invest in headphones over speakers. Once you hit that point where you're like, okay, I'm liking this, but every time I'm mixing, I'm unable to hear the bass, or my mixes aren't sounding great, or they're not translating well when I play them on the car, play them in the home stereo. Well, number one, play them in the car, play them on your home stereo, like start doing referencing. So start listening to your mixes in other places, and that will help you out. Even if you're mixing on headphones, start doing that. It's going to help you out. But if you do want a pair of monitor speakers, then make sure that you're buying something that it's going to be at least middle of the range or better. That's why I got the KRK Rockets, because you can buy a $100 pair of monitor speakers, and they're okay, but they'll let you hear what your music's going to sound like on a crappy system, which is fine if that's what you're going for. But don't spend $100 or $150 on speakers, because you're not going to get the value for them. Make sure you're getting something that's at least a level of quality that's going to be better than using headphones. So that's why, and I've talked about gear a bunch, and I like my gear. I do talk a bit about gear, but I also don't want you to spend a lot of money on gear that you don't need. I would rather you buy a new microphone or a new guitar or something that's going to help you add different sound quality. So pick up a different sound. Buy yourself an SM57, like a Shure microphone, or grab like the what's the one I like, the MXL 550 pack, which gives you a large diaphragm and a small diaphragm condenser mic, and then use them to create some new and different sounds. Start with what you can create first, because there'll be time, if you get good and if you have more money and you really want monitor speakers, go for it down the track. But for folks just getting into it, I've seen too many people jump the gun, get big monitor speakers, and then they have a room like I do, which is reverberant and echoey, and then they have their children go to bed and they can't crank up the volume. So yeah, a bunch of stuff that you need to consider before you jump in. So if you were considering, what do I buy next? It's nearly Christmas. Do I buy myself a pair of headphones or a pair of monitor speakers? I recommend headphones at the first option, and then when you want to go to the monitors, make sure you pick up something decent. And again, I recommend the KRK Rockets. I don't even have an affiliate link or anything for you, but yeah, check those out, because they're a nice mid-range speaker, good response, nice and level and clean, and it helps you mix your songs. Okay. We are coming up on the top of the hour. We've got about 10 minutes left. So if anyone on the live stream does have any questions, it's been a little bit quiet today, but it is a little bit later as well. And it's a busy time of the year. It is. Everyone's got a lot going on this time of the year. We've got a comment here from, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do well with names, Iglesia de Dios el Olivio Verde. I'm going to use my iPad today for live performance using a PreSonus audio box. And use GarageBand enhanced tuning for vocals. Very cool. Our buddy over on the GarageBand users Facebook group, Gypsy Joe Train, Joseph Hocking, he uses GarageBand for all of his backing tracks, and he plays guitar and sings along to GarageBand. And I've said it before a bunch of times, and I've never really got into it, but it is a really cool platform for live performing, for using as backing tracks. What I've never done is something that you're doing, so I can't wait to hear how that goes when you try that out, because the only problem with the enhanced tuning, and I talked about this in my vocal recording video this week, is as soon as you flick on enhanced tuning, you're getting about a quarter of a second delay. So it does mean that you're going to have delay between when you're singing and then when what's being output from your whatever you're playing through. So the amp or the PA or the speakers, there's going to be a bit of a delay there. So keep that in mind. Yes, it'll be good because it'll enhance your tuning live, but because it's doing that processing on the fly, it is going to be a little bit delayed. Yeah, just an aside there. But no, I like to hear different applications of GarageBand, different ways to use interfaces, and yeah, keep doing what you're doing. And I'll try and find a link to Gypsy Joe Train and some of the work that he does, because he does some amazing cover songs using GarageBand. People use GarageBand for all sorts of things, and I'm always blown away by how cool it is. Alrighty, so what I'm going to do now is we've been talking songwriting, and as I mentioned, I need to practice my new song. So I'm going to finish up here by taking you quickly through my new song called New Song. I will zoom in so that you can see a little bit more detail here as I walk you through what is here in the song so far, and then I will play a little rendition of my new song. Now, funnily enough, this song, I'll just flick my screen across. There we go. zoom it in even more so that folks on mobile can actually see. So I did a version of this song and I shared it on the GarageBand users Facebook group, and I sing this song. So I did the same with the opening song, the Drinking With You song. I sing it in like an Irish accent because it's like an Irish folk song, and I kind of can't help myself from singing it with an Irish twang. So in this version, I'm going to try singing it without the Irish twang, just to see what it sounds like, and a little bit more Australiana. Because yeah, I don't want it to be insulting, and I'm not trying to like take the mickey or anything, but it's like when I sing punk music, it comes out sounding American because it doesn't really sound right. And same with sort of rap music, like Australian rap. Actually, Australian rap's pretty cool. So maybe that's not a right exception. But a lot of Australian rappers early in the days, like back in the 90s, were rapping in American accents. It's like, maybe it's not so cool to do that. So here's my new song. We've got a lead in here. Oh, so that's just the lead in for the recording. But the intro here, we've got 8-bar intro. We've got a 16-bar verse. We've got 8 bars of a pre-chorus. And then we've got 8 bars of our chorus, little interlude, second verse, different than the first. And then our second pre-chorus, chorus, and then that's as far as I've got. So I need to write verse 3, the a cappella, then the pre-chorus, and then the double final chorus and ending. So that's where I'm at the moment. Now, if you haven't been following on the series, this song is all about dancing. It's a little bit weird. So the story, as it is, and that's why I got all this stuff up here. So I don't know where Johnny and Flora are now, but they were originally the characters. So Johnny is just who I'm calling the main character. And it's all about him being told that by his mum that he needs to dance while he's got the chance, and about her encouraging him to dance when he really just wanted to play with his friends. And then in the second verse, it's like, now he's got a reason to dance because there could be a romance and there could be something going on there. And then the final one is going to be, sorry, that's, I'm just going to fix that up. Marking the most. And that's just, that was the original writing. And then the final verse is just going to be sort of more the reflecting at the end. So, like, either like him thinking about the old days as, maybe his love interest has passed, which someone actually suggested. I'm like, oh, that's an interesting concept. Or maybe just growing older and having kids and then sort of encouraging them. Maybe it goes full circle and then he's encouraging them to do something and telling them that if he didn't do that, he wouldn't have met their mum and blah, 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 blah. Yeah, and again, I'm going right back to what I said at the start. The lyrics are a bit cringy. I got halfway through this and went, I don't know if I want to do this anymore. I'm feeling a little bit self-conscious. I'm like, you know what, let's work through it. We can either improve it and it'll work or it won't. And you know what, if my December song doesn't work, I'll write a January song, and maybe that will. So that is where we're at the moment. Now, I'm going to have to zoom out the lyrics so that I can actually see them all on one screen. So sorry that you won't be able to see and follow along. In fact, I'll barely be able to see them. Let's just get them at a level that I'll be able to see all the way down through. Yeah, that's going to be what we need there. So thank you. I'll come back. We'll play this song, and then I'll come back and say farewell to folks and finish up the stream. But let's step back from here. I'll just put my headphone cord behind my back so that doesn't keep flapping on me. And I'll step back. In fact, I might even take the headphones off. That'll be easier. I'll just make sure I'm playing up near the microphone, so you're going to be a la da da da. Yep, that's going to be about right. So we'll throw the headphones away because I don't need to hear myself play along. And this is where we're at so far. So this song has no name. It's probably going to be called 6 and 8 or 6s and 8, something like that, because the hook here is dancing in 6 and 8 time. So let us jump into it now. Mother told me, son, you'd better dance while you've got the chance and have the talent. But I would rather sit and play with toys, hang out with the boys and start some troubles. Know some trouble? So she dragged me away, all the while trying to say, son, you'll have time for all that, it's time to start dancing. Time after time we are standing in line and we're making the most of each rhyme. I'm happy to see that you're waltzing with me and we're dancing in 6 and 8 time. Now I saw a reason I should dance. There would be romance around the corner. 10 years later we would be as one. A different kind of fun, but one that's lasting. Work and mortgage and kids, wouldn't change it for quids. Only wish we had enough time to go dancing. And time after time we are standing in line and we're making the most of each rhyme. I'm happy to see that you're waltzing with me and we're dancing in 6 and 8 time. And that's the point where there'll be verse 3, which will be the a cappella verse, la da da da, with a bunch of backing vocals coming in there, sort of layering it, sort of sounding a bit like a choir. At least that's the concept du jour. We will see how that works out. So I have 8 days left to finish writing this song, and yeah, you can hear what I mean about the cringy lyrics. That it's there's bits in there that I need some help with, and that's why I'm throwing it out there to you. You can watch the previous videos in the series, check those out on the channel, or you can just let me know in the comments of this video what you think. Like, what direction should I go with this song? Ideas for song lyrics, ideas for a bridge or something that we can bring in here. Even though I've got the song structure, which I've already put together, doesn't mean it can't change. Everything can change in songwriting. Don't get yourself set on too many things, because things change over time and it will help you out. Alrighty, we are nearly done here, so we will finish off in just a moment. When are we? Higgy Drums, Mr. Leonard Higgins. When are we going to collaborate on an original song? My friend, it's been too long. Like, I've known you for like more than 6 months now, and we've been talking about this. But I think in the new year, when things settle down a little bit and I've got a bit more time, I think we definitely need to collaborate on a song. Like I said, I don't play drums, so Mr. Higgy Drums can drum on a song. That would be cool. Mr. Danny Elliott, hello to you. Welcome. Sorry, we're just finishing up here. What has he got? I write a lyric and I like. What's it? I write a lyric that I like, and then next day I get embarrassed thinking about what I was so proud of the day before. I love that concept, and that's probably what we're going to finish up on here. Daddy, thank you for all of your contributions. You have some great comments on my previous videos, and that is a really good way to tie it up in a nice little bow, talking about songwriting, because my big point here is that songwriting can be embarrassing, right? You are bearing your soul to the world. You are pushing things out there, and it's your own creation. You're basically saying, here's something I created. I'm completely vulnerable. Now tell me all the reasons why it sucks. And that's the way it can really feel. But everyone is in that same boat. Everyone feels the same. Everyone has the same challenges. So my message from this to you is that I've just shown you a bunch of bad song ideas that I put together. I've played one of them that hasn't worked out. I've showed you some of my concepts. I've showed you a half-finished song that I'm working on at the moment. Eventually it might be a song, but it might not be. The thing is that the worst thing that can happen is that someone can say that song sucks. But the best thing that can happen is that you write a song that you're proud of and that you can actually put out there to the world. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep writing songs. Keep going. Don't let the opinions of others or your own self-doubt get in the way. Continue to write and record and release, because that's what we're all about here on the channel. Look at that. We are right at the top of the hour. Thank you to those who have been here live. It's always fabulous to have you here. If you're watching on the replay, thank you for your time. If you found something that you liked or something useful here in this show, then I would appreciate any comments that you have. You can drop those down below. Until the next time we meet, I've been Pete. Pete. This has been Studio Live today. I wish you all a great Christmas. I've got another couple of videos that'll come out in the next couple of days before Christmas, but this will be my last time here live on a stream before Christmas. So thank you for everyone's support throughout the year, and we'll be seeing you real soon. Take care.